Hey there, welcome to Izzo's Place. Thirsty Thursdays. We've got the long review. Hopefully you saw the short of Starward Twofold. So this is an Australian whiskey. It's double grain. And I'm sure on here somewhere they put, wheat and malted barley. What else we got? Truly Melbourne, born and bred. 150 milliliter, of course, 40% alcohol by volume, so 80 proof. All right, let's go ahead and do this almost like the way I've been started doing neck pours, which you might not have even have seen the new version of the neck pours yet because I have so much backlogged other neck pours, but we'll get there eventually. But what I'm doing with the neck pours these days is I pour it, I taste and nose it once, then we go over the bottle. And on these long reviews, we'll go over the bottle, but we'll also look at the website, we'll look at the story behind the distillery, we'll look for some answers of why Starward is Starward. And then we'll go back to the glass after it's sat for a little while. We'll just do our little roll thing, start out. Let me know what you think. I have the mic, I've got a light on me. It's not gonna help me read stuff, but maybe it'll let you see the bags under my eyes better. So let me know what you think about some slight production upgrades. Hopefully, mid to late fall, I'll be able to finally clean the shop and finish the speakeasy. And then you should see some huge upgrades at that point. That's what I'm shooting for anyway. It does smell grainy. It's kind of got a little bit of funkiness that I sometimes get with a wheat whiskey. I hear so many other people call it like a wheat funk that it's kind of gotten in my head, and I equate it with that. So let me, instead of telling you wheat funk, let me figure out exactly what it is. This smells a lot more intriguing than neck pour, let me tell you. Instead of wheat funk, what would I call it? There's the cough, had to edit it out. This is going to be a good video. Because it is a funky smell, but I don't want to just call it wheat funk like anyone else. I want my Izzo viewers to know exactly what it smells like. So as you know, sometimes I give a note, mostly in Scottish and Irish whiskeys, that I feel like it's the note of what I think I would be smelling if I was standing in a wheat field, breathing in. And that I don't think that does a lot for you. I wish I had something more concrete than that. And I've never stood in a wheat field, so I could be totally way off base about what a wheat field actually smells like. But that wheat funk, smells like I'm standing in a wheat field after 3 days of rain. So that's what I got for you. And if I come up with something better at some point, I will for sure let you know. Yeah, so soggy wheat field. There's a sweetness there, and I'm not placing it. It might just be like sugar in the raw. I gotta go with sugar in the raw, like a, not just sugar in the raw, like a syrup made out of sugar in the raw. There's a bit of fruit in there. And this is the longest first nosing ever, I suppose. But I really want to get in here. There's some fruit. I get light cherries. I get really light Honeycrisp apples. That's a really nice note. So it's grainy, it's sweety, it's not too spicy. And I think on the neck pour, I think I had some spice, either in the nose or the palate. All right, here's the palate finally. The apples came through. The apples came through. The sugar in the raw syrup came through. So like basically what I'm describing, there's like a simple syrup made out of sugar in the raw instead of like regular sugar or something else. A little bit of spice at the end, but nothing's jumping out to me, so I'm just going to call it like allspice or baker spice, baking spices, until I figure out if there's something for sure there. It's not my first whiskey of the day. No, I'm sorry. It is my first whiskey of the day. I did not get a hug. I did not get an Australian hug. Sorry for any Australians watching this. That was probably not good. So not much of a hug. Goes down real easy. Not a lot of burning. So If sometimes the alcohol levels bother you, this might be a good, nice, easy sipper. Might be a good, if you see it in your market, it's only $35. Might be a good starter bottle for someone wanting to get into whiskey. I don't know why you want to get into whiskey. I feel like mostly it just happens by accident, but who knows. I don't know everyone's motivations. But feel free to put your motivations in the comment section. That would be great. Don't know how long they aged it. They age their stuff in finished barrels, but it's just got a normal color. It's got good legs on it, though, for only 80 proof. And I don't know, I can't see them on the... You can see them a little bit. But yeah, it's got good legs on the... So, if you don't know what legs are, legs is generally used in wine. The more alcohol a wine has, usually the longer the legs will be. So, I mean, any legs you get on a whiskey is going to be much more striking than what you get on a wine. But some, depending on, I suppose, the way it's made, how old it is, whether it's chill filtered or not, some whiskeys have better legs than others. And this has pretty good legs. All right, let's go ahead and... I basically read over the whole bottle. I read over the front of the bottle. Let's read over the back of the bottle. And to do that, because I got this light shining on my face, I'm going to go grab a small flashlight. My flashlight of choice is generally a tape measure, because I love having tools with light sources on them. Twofold, a flavor-forward Australian whiskey manufactured in Australian red wine barrels. This ambitious expression marries two quintessentially Australian grains, wheat and malted barley, and elementally matures them in Melbourne's intensely reactive climate. Sounds like Melbourne, they describe it as sometimes having all 4 seasons in one day, which, honestly, sometimes I can describe Cleveland. So the extremes of temperature is what helps age whiskey in barrels. So that would be good. Twofold promises to deliver on an approachable whiskey. Agree with that. With bright aromas of spice vanilla, tropical fruits, and cereals. Yeah, I guess I got 2 or 3 of those. Well, it wasn't tropical fruits, but I got fruit. Just didn't get any I didn't get vanilla, but I had that sugar in the raw syrup. Wouldn't be too different. The palate is rounded, carrying hints of, too late, red apples and berries, which I kind of sort of got. The finish is delicate with soft tannins and lingering red fruits. The soft tannins might have translated into the allspice baking spice that I got. Okay, the founder is David Vitale. Australia is the country it came from. Enter your unique bottle code online. Oh, well, maybe we'll have to do that. Let's see what happens. Imported by Park Street Imports LLC, Miami, Florida. Age 2 years. There we go. We got an age statement on it. I like an age statement, even if it means the whiskey's young, because it was pretty good. Now, this whiskey won some awards. So let's go ahead and go to the Starward website and we'll look at some stuff. Double grain whiskey, 40%. We know that. $35. Looks like you can buy it right on the website. So sometimes buying alcohol through the mail can be a pain. So maybe I'll go on here later and see how bad the shipping is. You know what? Let's just do it now. Let's add it to cart. Okay, $35. Let's go to checkout. Oops, I bought it. No. How far through this am I going to have to go? Okay, here we go. Shipping. No. All right. So I'll go enter my shipping address. I won't say it out loud. Even though I'm sure you're dying to know. Actually, you need to send me a postcard or a letter. There's an address to the speakeasy in the description of all the videos. Shipping cannot be sent to my address. Okay, so probably can't ship to Ohio. So if you're doing that, let's go ahead and switch to the Florida project. Let's see if it can be shipped to Florida. I wouldn't be surprised if it could, because sorry, I can't think and talk. Because it goes into Miami. Okay, yeah. Oh, all right, super cheap. So if you're in Florida, and I don't know if this is all of Florida or just my county that I'm in here down here, Collier County, but apparently I can have it shipped to Florida. And you'll find that the liquor laws are crazy. Each state has their own requirements. Some states will let you ship, some won't. So $6. That's not bad. Now, I have seen this locally in ABC Wines and Liquors. What's the other big one? Total Wine. Total Wine? Wine something and more? I don't know. Yeah, it might be Total Wines and More. And then there's a little mom and pop liquor store down here. I've seen it there too. So I can get it without shipping, and it probably was around that $35 here. Let's go ahead and not buy this at this time. Let's remove this from the cart. And let's go back to talking about Twofold. So it won Chairman's Award at the Las Vegas Global Spirit Awards in 2022. It won gold at the San Francisco World Spirits Competition in 2022. And then 94 Pints Wine Enthusiast 2023. That sounds like just a single reviewer there. Okay, we talked about that. Basically, that was basically the back of the bottle. Try a twofold and tonic, and you'll start wondering why you need gin in your life. Well, I like gin as well. All right, so their goal was to make a whiskey that was affordable and approachable and delicious. So they claim that any classic cocktail's made better. Try it mixed with a ginger beer as the main ingredient in your next Negroni, or learn how to make something entirely new with this low-risk, high-reward spirit. My goal is to add cocktails to this channel next year, but we may just go get it. I do have ginger beer in the fridge, so I may get a ginger beer. Just add that to it after we're done with it. Okay, we're gonna get back into tasting notes. Let's skip that. Ingredients from our backyard. So they buy wine barrels from local vineyards, and they try to keep it within a day of their distillery. And the reason for that is so that way, when they get the barrels, they get them to their distillery, and they either fill them up right away, or they lightly char them, or they steam them, and they try to do it quickly, so that way there's still actually liquid in the barrel left over from the wine, which is going to give you more flavors. They mentioned they select barrels from nearby vineyards making bold Aussie reds, Shiraz, Cabernet, Pinot Noir, and they give our new make spirit, tasty fruit, caramel, and spice notes. So we're drawing notes out of the wine, which is cool. That's a great thing to do. I love experimenting. I'm experimenting. That stupid barrel. This might be the first time I'm not real thrilled with what I did with the barrel, and that's a lot of Woodford Reserve Double Oak I wasted. I won't waste. I'm going to drink it. I just may send out samples to viewers that are over 21, so that way they could join in the burnt double oak. Anyway, so, and this is what I mentioned. They try to keep wine from a day's drive away. Yes, obsessed with flavor. 4 seasons in a day. So the reason you want extremes of temperature is because the oak in the barrel is going to naturally contract and expand. And also, while it's doing that, it's going to pull the whiskey into its pores and push it out. When you see a deconstructed whiskey barrel, when you look at the edge of the stave, you will actually see on the side of the stave how far in the whiskey penetrated the wood. It's very cool. And sometimes it's lighter, sometimes it's heavier, but it's very, very neat process. Let's see anything else in here. So because it's an extreme temperature, things will age faster. So this is a 2-year whiskey. It might taste to you like an older whiskey. Cool. Now let's go ahead and go back up. All right, I got the tasting notes open, but I have not looked at them yet. So let's go ahead and get back into this whiskey. And this is our second or twofold nosing and tasting. Yeah, I got those wet grains, but I got cherries and apples right behind it. Like the first time I put it to my nose, all I got was the wet grains. The second time I put it to my nose, I had the wet grains with the fruit underlaying it. And the third time comes back in, and then that sweetness is there. They've put it in my head, because I read some of those tasting notes, they've put it in my head that it's vanilla. So the sugar in the raw syrup is definitely vanilla now to me. And I'm susceptible that way. I don't know if you are. Talk about it in the comments if you want. Okay. Okay. It's possible they put it in my head because of the comments. There's pineapple now. It's not a fresh pineapple. It's a pineapple that's been sitting in that can, in that sugary syrup. And then on this nosing, the grains came back and I'm not smelling anything else. That is kind of cool, and I'm kind of mad that the pineapple showed up after I read tropical fruit. But the cherry and the apple's still there. The damp wheat is still there. It's intriguing. I can't lie, it's intriguing. Especially for such a low-proof whiskey. The palate is very accurate with the nose. I get all of that nonsense. I've got the pineapple now in there. Real syrupy canned pineapple, not fresh pineapple. Fresh pineapple's a different beast. Still can't place the spice, so it's just generic baking spices. Let's see what their website talks about the notes, and then we'll do a third nose and tasting. So note, bright red berries coated in buttery vanilla spice. I don't know what vanilla spice is. Vanilla's not spicy. Palate. Imagine a smooth, rich caramel dessert balanced by tropical fruit. I don't get the caramel. It's more vanilla or sugar in the raw simple syrup. But other than that, I'm getting the fruit in there, including the pineapple this last time. All right, finished. Delicate and long. Not long. It's delicate. It's not short. Don't get me wrong. We'll just put it in medium, and we'll leave it solidly in medium. a delicious dry finish from a faded sweetness. So the other, wherever we read about tannins on the palate, I think that was on here. So the dry finish, that's the tannins to me. Yeah, so those tasting notes aren't bad. They're pretty accurate. If this is something that you've tasted, please put in the comments what your notes are. Even if your notes are, yes, I liked it, no, I didn't, because those are totally acceptable notes. Doesn't matter. That's what my notes used to be. Again, no significant hug. So if you're someone, you know what? This is easy drinking and smooth enough. This might belong in a summer pour for me. It's not super robust. It's not going to overly warm you if it's already warm outside. So I think this might be a good summer pour. All right, is there anything else we need to go over with the website? The website has some neat videos on it. I don't want to go into everything they talk about. They basically recap on a little bit longer what I just talked about with getting barrels from a day away or less for their barrelage. But it's neat in the videos being able to see their stacks of whiskey bottles. I don't know if they have a true rick house there. They might, but what they showed on the video didn't seem like a true rick house. And that's fine. Don't need to be so fancy with a rick house as long as the stuff's tasting pretty good. And I do think that it's a bit opened. You know, I made sure I drank 3 or 4 pours over the last 8-9 months, and so I like to get it past the shoulder of the bottle before I do a review on it, so that way there's plenty of air in there to go ahead and do its little oxidation moves and change the barrel for better or worse. You know, it's funny, and it'll be weeks before this comes out. I have a single barrel Rabbit Hole Derringer that I tried a couple days ago, and it blew my mind. I can't get that thing off my mind. So that'll be fun when I finally get a chance to do the long review on it. I'm also mad because I think I had an opportunity to buy a second one, but those stupid rabbit holes are so expensive that I didn't pull the trigger. But I hadn't tried it yet. Like, it's hard to buy something blind. Go do one more nosing and taste it. See if anything's changed. And you know what? We'll kind of look at their notes while I'm doing it. Let's see if I can find the notes that they're talking about. Bright red berries coated in buttery vanilla spice. That's right. Let's look up vanilla spice, because I want to know what vanilla spice is. Is that like, did Vanilla Ice join the Spice Girls? I want to know what vanilla spice is. All right, let's change. I just looked up vanilla spice. Let's change it to what is vanilla spice. What is AI generating? Vanilla is a spice that comes from the dried, cured fruit pods of the vanilla orchid, Vanilla planifolia. The pods are picked before the plant flowers and cured for up to 6 months till they turn dark brown. The process involves washing the beans, soaking them in hot water to release vanillin, and then massaging them to release their oils. Vanilla is the world's second most expensive spice after saffron and is a popular flavoring in many recipes. So vanilla is technically a spice. It's also an extract. So I guess that's all. So it's not like I was thinking that there was like some spicy version of vanilla. So no, vanilla is a spice. I should have known that. It's also an extract, and those flavors that we get from those things, the vanillins, we also get our whiskey. And I believe, like the caramel, that comes from the charring. Could be wrong. Let me know if I'm wrong in the comments. I love learning. I like not being wrong. So if I'm wrong, I would prefer to be corrected. Oh yeah. So anyway, let me go back to the tasting. Oh, all right. With the tasting, let's go. Do I have to? There we go. Two-fold double grain. This is the only two-fold I've ever tried. I would be interested in trying another one. So I'll keep an eye out for another one. Let you know. Give you a little more bigger overview of the brand. Try to get 1 or 2 more. All right. So bright red berries coated in buttery vanilla spice. For me, I don't get berries, but no, I take that back. The only berry I get is cherry. So I get cherry, apple, and canned pineapple. So I don't get the berries they're talking about, but coated in vanilla spice. Yes, the sweetness in this has converted over to vanilla for me. And then, of course, that soaked wheat is still in there. All right, palate. Caramel dessert balanced by tropical fruit. So what would that look like? What kind of caramel dessert are we talking about? Don't really get the caramel still. The wet wheat came through in the finish for me that time. That's weird. So for me, it would be more a vanilla-based dessert, not necessarily ice cream, but let's just go with ice cream with the drizzle of pineapple and some cherries and apple, Honeycrisp apple on top of there. And then yeah, that was interesting that wheat came back on the back of the palette. Now the finish, delicate and long, delicate and medium, I'd say. The soaked wheat came back for this finish. It says dry finish from a faded sweetness. So yeah, I mean the sweet on the palate dissipates into the finish and then it's kind of dry. It's only medium long, it is not long. Well, I'm glad I bought this bottle. Just took a chance on it. Honestly, took a chance because the first time I saw it, of course, I thought Star Wars. So I glanced at it, saw Star Wars, realized it was Starward, and I'm like, well, I like sci-fi in general. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's go Starward and try the twofold double grain Australian whiskey. If you see it, if you like the descriptions that I just mentioned, I'd say go ahead and get it. Oh, you know what? I'll go get a ginger beer. We'll add it to a ginger beer. See how we feel. Probably not a full. Go ahead. Ginger beer, stuck a little garnish on there. Ginger beer with Starward in it, so I guess this is a mule. So, what should we call it? Let's call it Captain Donkey. Kind of disappears into ginger beer. Maybe I didn't put enough in. A little floater. I don't think it'll be quite a double because I don't think that's quite enough. Hopefully, it just brought it closer to the nice. Okay. Ooh, the vanilla really came through on that. Wow. That's really impressive. I am very greatly surprised by the donkey mule, though. Space Donkey. We're calling it Space Donkey. I don't know if that's what the first name I said was, but we're calling it Space Donkey now. Oh, now, I really didn't squeeze anything into it earlier, but this dried up, almost bad lemon that I had handy. Some citrus in there. And then if you hear that I died later, I'm sure it wasn't the lemon. So now the citrus, that vanilla is still, for whatever reason, the vanilla on this really bold after dropping it into the ginger. Neat. Okay, I'll have to do this again later. That's all I got for you. If you have any questions about Starward or what the heck this channel is, please put it in the comments or email me at heyizzo@yahoo.com. We're getting close to 500 subs. I can't believe it. So at 500 subs, we'll do another giveaway. So what that means is that all you people I promised merch to at 250, I better get cracking and get you that stuff before we get to 500 subs, because that would be embarrassing. We'll go with that, and yeah, that's all I got for you. So if you're working, please work safe. If you're drinking whiskey, please drink responsibly. Do everything with a little bit of whimsy, and you're always going to have a good time. I'll see you next time you're hanging out at Izzo's place. Oh, I didn't have the microphone back on. Boy, I hope you guys could hear me.